Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Creatives of Windsor Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Sherdown, and today I'm sitting down with local photographer Nicole Vallance.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll just start at the beginning. So when did you start photography?
Oh my gosh. I feel like every photographer has the same answer for this. You're like, when I was a wee child, I began taking photos and was so inspired. But everyone takes pictures when they're little and stuff, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So of course. But when I was a teenager, I was really into the early, I don't know if you'd call it social media, but there was a blog called LiveJournal. Have you ever heard of that? Mm-mm. No? Okay, yeah, you're too young. It's okay. But it was the early blogging kind of thing, and it was mostly people using it as an online diary kind of thing. And I would post these day in my life photo journals of really boring things about my life. But I got good feedback on it, and I enjoyed the feedback, and I felt like that kind of moved along the journey of enjoying photos. And I met people through there as well that got into wedding photography before I did, who, the one girl, actually, she ended up shooting my wedding. Her name is Nessa Kessinger. She's an amazing photographer.
Where is she from?
She's from the States. I think she lives in, I think it's Baltimore now. I'm not sure. She's moved around a bunch, but,
okay.
But yeah, so she got into wedding photography. She's a few years older than me. She got into it before I did. And I kind of got to see, because this was a pretty, an online journal thing, I kind of got to see behind the scenes of her life and what kind of a lifestyle she lived with wedding photography, and what inspired her. And she's so good. So that was obviously also really inspiring. And seeing her get into it, I think, was another thing that kind of propelled me down the road of wanting to do it myself. So yeah.
What year was this that you were on that journal thing?
I was a teen. I think I started posting there when I was 15. So that would have been a long time ago.
Okay.
20 plus years ago.
That's okay.
Early 2000s. Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people started with I pretty much got into it because of Tumblr.
Yeah.
If you remember Tumblr.
I feel like Tumblr, a lot of people left LiveJournal and went to Tumblr because LiveJournal got bought. This is such internet lore. But LiveJournal got bought by some Russian company, and a bunch of people didn't like that Russia was involved. So they moved over to Tumblr because Tumblr had just become a thing, and Tumblr was so visual, obviously. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get that. Tumblr was, yeah.
When did you shoot your first wedding?
So I was living in Boston for a year, and then I came back here afterwards. I moved to Boston to be with a boy, and that didn't work out, which is a good thing. And I came back here, and I was what do I want to do with my life? Literally, I had gone to university for English and philosophy, and I was no idea what I want to do with these things, but I loved being creative. And like I said, because I'd seen Nessa and her journey, I just kind of always had this wedding photographer idea in the back of my mind. And then I had a conversation with Erica from Manifesto Photography. And
I remember she shot my wedding.
Yes, she's fantastic. I've known her since I was we went to the same grade school together.
Oh,
so
really?
I've known her and her family for a long time. So I also saw her journey getting into it. And I remember having a conversation with her because I was doing paintings at the time, and she bought a painting from me. And she was getting into wedding photography. She was oh my gosh, Nicole, it's amazing. You buy your gear, and then the rest is just all for you, basically. The overhead cost is so low, it's so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And I was interesting. This is getting the gears turning. So I came back from Boston, had this convo with her, had this whole, just not sure what I wanted to do with my life. And literally, I remember just sitting on my couch and being I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a wedding photographer. Knew nothing, by the way. Had no idea how to use a DSLR. Literally knew nothing other than I liked taking photos and this seemed fun. And then I think it would have been 5 months later, I shot my first wedding. I know.
Damn.
This is not the recommended course of action in case anyone is trying to get into this industry. But I literally I rented an SLR that winter from Henry's just to try to learn it and see if I could play around with it and see if I liked taking photos with it before I jumped in. And I rented that, loved it, did the worst photo shoot with my sister that we still have. It's so funny, just out in the snow being ridiculous. But I had so much fun. And then I went back to Henry's, and I forget her name, but one of the employees there was selling her, I think it was a Nikon 700 or something. I don't know. This was the very first camera I bought, and I bought it used from her. And then that summer, I just was like telling everyone, I was like, I'm going to be a wedding photographer. This is what I'm going to do. So if you know anybody, you know, like send them my way. And just spent that whole spring practicing and taking photos of like couples. I reached out to everyone who I knew that had been married recently. Because I was like I would have been like 22, 23 at this time. So I knew quite a few people who were like getting married or were like had just gotten married. And I was like, will you get back in your wedding attire and like model for me so I can have some like semblance of a portfolio?
Smart.
Yeah, it was good. I was like pretty scrappy about it all. And then that spring, it was like a friend of my grandma's that got married and I shot their little chapel wedding and kind of was hooked ever since then.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's story is kind of different, which is cool.
Yeah.
Would you say you're self-taught then? Like you never took
100%.
courses or classes or anything? You just started doing it?
100% self-taught, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So you still shoot with Nikon?
I do.
Are you on like their Z mirrorless things now?
I am. I did the switch to mirrorless technically 2 years ago, but I was like shooting with both of, like I had a mirrorless and an old, like at the same time, because I was like a little nervous about going full over into the mirrorless with weddings and stuff. But this year I'm fully 100% to mirrorless all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I switched like almost 2 years ago too.
Yeah.
It's funny, you just kind of like waited for that DSLR to get old and then
right.
It was like, I didn't do it like right away. I like waited for it to get old enough.
Exactly. Well, you know you're going to like, it only takes a few years when you're shooting all the time to like get through a body, right? So you're like, I might as well wait till this one's done.
What's your time frame? How long do bodies last you?
Honestly, it probably 3 to 4 years, depending.
Same.
Yeah.
I would say like the exact same thing.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah. Until it gets to the point where I'm like, you're starting to do weird things and I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah, like I've never had one break really per se.
No? Oh, you're lucky. I had one break at a wedding.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I had like 2 other backups. It wasn't a big deal, but I still like, you know that feeling when your like heart drops into your stomach and you're like, oh, yeah, it was terrifying even though I had backups, but yeah.
Yeah, weddings I always bring 2 backups, and every other shoot I only bring 1 backup, obviously.
Yep.
But it's just a lot to carry. But like, weddings, and it's funny too, because like I'm a 1 camera shooter. Are you a 2 camera shooter or 1 camera shooter?
Always 2 cameras. I have 2 bodies on me all day, and then I have a third in my bag, but my third is just the backup if one of those 2 goes. And I always shoot. I've got a 35 and an 85, and I don't switch anything all day. That's my whole. I try to be as lean as possible because I find that for me, it's one less thing to think about. Like, should I be changing lenses? Should I be like worrying about that? And I feel like I'm so much faster with being able to catch moments when it's like right, like, you know, if it's right in front of my face, I've got my 35. If it's farther away, I've got my 85 and my feet if necessary.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny because I shoot most of the day, like all the like, I don't know, like portraits and like artsy type photos. I'm always 35 or 85, just like you. And then I never liked zooms and I would always kind of switch because I'm a 1 camera person. I've tried 2 and I don't like it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just
doesn't feel right
too
with your
much
flow?
going on. I don't know.
That's fair.
It kind of gets in the way.
It is annoying. Anytime I have to like go through all the chairs, especially weddings when they're really tight, and I'm like, I have to remember to hold my cameras up and like navigate through because otherwise you're like 4 feet wide.
Where are your cameras at in terms of the ground when you're fixing a train? Are they on the ground? Are they still like lifted?
They're still pretty high. They're like just about hip level. So like very rarely do I worry about hitting them on the ground.
Okay.
It's usually like the stuff around me that I'm more concerned. I mean, I do bang them off a lot of things.
So do you have those cameras set to the exact same time?
Yes.
Like to the millisecond?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always. But they like throughout the year, they get off a little bit.
Why do they do that?
I don't know.
It's so annoying.
I don't know. I'm not enough of a sciencey person to know how time works.
It's like yeah, mine's like 4 minutes off. I checked yesterday.
Yeah. Have you ever had a second shooter where it's not like timed up correctly,
Always.
and then afterwards you're like, why? It's the worst.
And it's not even like it's not even like either of our faults, to be honest, because the cameras freaking do that.
Yeah.
And like you don't even realize, you think like a minute or 2 off isn't a big deal. It's the biggest deal when you're going through.
Absolutely.
So like for example, my second shooter this weekend's Richard.
Yep.
Spry. So like I always used to like in the morning, like whoever it is will be like, let's put the cameras. Now I always tell them, I say the second they kiss, take a picture. I don't care where you are.
Yeah. And then you can use that.
And then I'll use that. Yeah.
Yep. That is, it's like the tried and true. You know that this is happening at the same time and you're both going to be capturing it and then you're good. Yeah. But it is a pain in the butt when it's not synced.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
100%. The worst photographer problems, you know?
Yeah, so anyway, I was saying, like zoom lenses, so like they were never sharp enough. I didn't really like them for weddings.
Fair.
But now they've gotten like sharper.
Yeah.
So for things like walking down the aisle, the entrance, I'll rock like a 24-70.
Yeah.
Because it's cleaner than it used to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's not like a portrait.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see that. There's definitely a lot of flexibility in a zoom. But for me, I've never shot with a zoom. Like I have seconds that have shot with zooms, and usually, and even like, so I also have Stephanie, who's my associate, and she shoots with a zoom, but I think I'm going to tell her to take it out for I don't know, just something about the I don't know. Just the look of it. I don't know. There's something about it that I'm just not the biggest fan of.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
They're usually cleaner. Well, they used to be. Now, like I said, the newer ones are better.
I'm sure.
But like if it's a 24-70, like at 24 and at 70 is the clearest.
That makes sense.
So yeah.
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 It's kind of funny how everybody has like their preference.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's about your flow too, like how you shoot and how you think while you're shooting too, because so much of that is going to translate into your equipment and how you use it and what works best for you, because we're all super different.
You know what I love about also like being a hybrid shooter and doing video is I get to watch other photographers work.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
I want to do more second shooting just for that. Cause I feel like when I did my second shooting, like when I first started, I feel like I didn't do enough of it. And now I'm jealous of people who get to see more photography because it's so interesting. And it's a good way to learn too, right? Just like bring things into your own work.
Yeah. I haven't I gave up second shooting a couple years ago too.
Yeah.
It's just like if I have a Saturday off, I want it.
100%. You're like, I only get so many. I would love friends and family. I do exist in the summer, you know.
unless I owe someone a favor.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, because like they did it for me. Like sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like so. I brought that up because I just did a wedding with Jessica Rexton like 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
And she's on the new 28-70 f2 Canon. It's like a big fucking honking thing.
Okay.
Because it's a 28-70 and it's an f2, so it's so big.
I can't imagine.
And Richard has one too,
Yeah.
and they shoot on them like almost all day, and it's like stupid crisp. Like it's like a prime.
Insane. Insane. Honestly, for me, like I used to have like the 70-200 that I would break out sometimes, but I want to be I want the gear that I have, I want it to be as light as possible. So like even when I'm shooting with my 35 and my 85, they are both 1.8. They're not 1.4. Like I don't want, because it's so much lighter. And honestly, the difference, like unless you are looking at a photo at like maximum resolution, or you're like a photographer who has like a very keen eye for it, you're not going to notice the difference. And for me, it makes a huge difference in my like physical ability to move and get more stuff done, because I do have it like on my body all day. I can't imagine having a giant lens like that.
I know.
I can't imagine. I would die.
Yeah.
I just would.
That's another reason why I don't like shooting with two.
Yeah.
But again,
it is heavy.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, they're beautiful. Like they're gorgeous photos, I'm sure. I love Jessica's work. It's stunning. But yeah, for me,
Yeah, it's funny how everybody has like their totally different things, and like it all works, but 100%. It only works for you.
100%. No, and I love, like, I think too, like giving people the permit, because I feel like so many photographers get very stuck in the idea that like you have to have the best of the best, like the newest whatever, whether it's like the newest camera, the newest lens. And it's like, obviously you want to have professional good equipment, like that is important. And it's really cool to see where the technology goes when new lenses and things like that come out. But I think that there's a lot to be said for not having to spend money on all that stuff all the time, and to see what you can do with different boundaries, if that makes sense. Yeah, and
then you just kind of get like comfortable in your way, and then you just kind of go from
It's true. Honestly, I won't lie. Like I said, my 35 and my 85, I just have the whole, like, I know exactly what parts of the day I want to shoot with which lens and what I'm like. So yeah, it's very, very tuned in at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a lot of photographers in like other genres moving away from a 35 and going to a 28.
I've seen that too, especially for like dancing photos and things where you're like kind of really getting up in like the movement and in people's faces and getting that really kind of exaggerated look, which is beautiful. It's very cool.
Prime 28s are really small too.
That as well.
They're like pancake lenses.
Yeah.
I was thinking about picking one up.
Yeah, I've got a 20 that's like, I used to shoot before, when I first started in photography, I was doing weddings and I was also shooting real estate.
I do a ton of real estate.
Do you? Okay, cool. Yeah. So my mom and her whole family, they're all like, my family's all in real estate. So I had like an in that way. So it helped me to like make money while I was still building my wedding portfolio and everything.
Yeah.
So I have like some lenses from then still, but I haven't broken them out in a while. Maybe I should. Yeah.
You didn't like real estate?
No, it wasn't for me. Not at all.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I can
so
see.
easy.
I was gonna say it is very easy for sure. But I had some sketchy moments where like some sketchy locations that realtors brought me to shoot in. So I don't know.
Same.
Yeah.
There's like two main reasons I like real estate. One, well, I guess there's like three. One, it's during the week work.
Yes.
It's like during the workday, which is cool.
Yes.
They're all return clients.
Yes.
That's sweet. And and I love weddings. That's my favorite. But I like the no people aspect of real estate.
Yeah.
And I just shoot, and it's just like, you just shoot what's there.
Yep. It's just light and angles for that. There's no person aspect, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes it so nice and like just chill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that aspect of it. For me, it was more, I think once I started getting busier with weddings, because real estate is very like, they want the pictures immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the day of.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I remember I would wake up days and I'd be like, okay, I have this like whole day to edit a wedding or whatever. And I would get like a call from like 3 realtors that morning that all wanted me to shoot that afternoon. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't have this day anymore. And I hated that. So for me, it was worth getting out of, but.
Yeah, that happens to me too. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got a question based off what you said, but I do want to backtrack. So we were talking about like carrying a lot of gear and getting tired and stuff like that. Do you do like 8, 9, 10 packages, or do you like 8, 10, 12s? Like what is your?
So I do 8, 9, 10, and I'm kind of at the point where if a wedding wants more than 10 hours, I probably won't take it on. Yeah. Every once in a while I do, because like sometimes obviously it happens where like I book a package where they want 10, and then when you're finalizing the timeline and everything, you realize that maybe you need an extra hour or something like that. And obviously that's totally fine. But if a wedding comes to me and I know from the get-go that they're probably going to want more than 10 hours, it's just not for me. Because I shoot so many weddings that at this point, it's just, I know for myself, for physically and mentally like burnout, that it's just not worth it for me. And it's not wedding. I would rather have someone else shoot who's going to love it and enjoy the entire process. And yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good to be,
It's a privileged position to be in, for sure, to be able to turn down any work. So it's,
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's nice.
Yeah.
For sure. So more than 10, so you don't, how many weddings a year would you say you do or like to do?
So this is the first year that it's changed, but for the previous like 11 years, I would shoot usually between 35 to 40 weddings a year. This year I took on 25. And I've been saying I was going to do that for a long time. And it's been amazing. And I don't think I'm ever going to go more than 25 again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All full days, meaning like 8 or more?
8 or more hours, yeah.
Do you ever do small ones?
Almost never. I mean, during COVID, there were some that just ended up having to be that way because either weddings got split in half or whatever. But very rarely do I do anything other than like less than 8 hours.
Nice. Yeah, 35 to 40 is a lot.
A lot. Plus, I have an associate. So like she's shooting 20 out. So I'm doing the back end work for like 60 plus weddings.
Oh, that's just you.
That's just me.
Oh, I thought that was your associate too.
It's just me. So Steph, so this year I shoot
doubles.
Yeah. So like there'll be weekends where there's like 4 new weddings coming in because she's shooting 2 and I'm shooting 2, and it's exactly.
Do you ever do triples or you don't take triples?
I don't do triples. I almost never do doubles anymore either.
Yeah.
I know Steph just did a triple this weekend. She only did the one in the middle was for me, but the other 2 were her own. And yeah, I just saw her today and I was like, how are you still standing? I don't understand.
I don't really like to take doubles unless it like makes sense.
Exactly. Like if it's like an 8-hour one day and I know it's going to be a pretty chill day, then like maybe I'll do another. Or occasionally if it's so hard when you get a couple that just sounds like so wonderful and you're so excited about everything about it and you're like, okay, fine, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
you hear the day and you're like, ooh, what's your favorite 10-hour time like start and end time? I was talking with my wife about it the other day.
Yeah, so most of the weddings I shoot are 9 hours. So I'd say like my favorite is probably like noon to 9 or 12:30 to 9:30.
You like starting later like that?
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm just anxious all day until I get there. So I don't like it.
But if I have to be somewhere before like 10:30, I don't sleep well because I sleep in. Usually I wake up at like 8 or 9 in the morning. So if I know that I have to be somewhere by like 10:30, then I want to be up by like 8 or 7, and then I don't sleep as well. So if I know I can like sleep my normal amount, that's why like noon and later is 8+.
What is your night before and morning of wedding like ritual?
Night before, nothing really. Honestly, I used to be, I got food poisoning at a wedding, not at a wedding, but like the day before a wedding. The worst. The only time I've ever been sick for a wedding, I still shot it. This was like 6 years ago,
only
7
once?
years ago.
You've only been sick
I've
once?
been so lucky.
I
know.
one really sick.
It's the worst, isn't
last
it?
year.
You feel like it's the worst.
You know what? The adrenaline. There was a nice aspect where I had a second at it because I don't always have a second.
Yeah.
So that was nice, just knowing that they were there.
Yes. It's like a safety blanket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was coming off, I really rested all week, like just because of this wedding. Like I gave other jobs away I had booked and I was like, I can't do these anymore. I need to rest for the wedding.
Yep.
And I was like pounding Dayquil. And after a couple hours in, like I remember throughout the day being like feeling it in my head.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I forgot I was sick.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue. Sorry.
No, I wish I was that lucky. I did not forget I was sick because it was food. It was like I woke up that morning and I could tell that I was like, something is off. And I had a second that day, but I was only supposed to have her for 4 hours because most of my packages, like my main package that most people book has a second for 4 hours. So I remember I messaged her that morning and I was like, I love you and I know that I'm going to want you there all day. Can you tell me you can be there all day? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, fantastic, because I'm pretty sure I have food poisoning. And then that whole day, it was like as the day went on, I just got worse and worse. And luckily it was a winter wedding. So like being outside in the cold, like doing the couple portrait and stuff, I felt great for that because I think the cold air and everything. But there was a point during family portraits when we were like waiting for, I don't know, like grandma to come up or something. And I was just standing there and I was like, yeah, I need to sit for a minute. Like, I feel like I might faint. Like, I feel like I might. And at that point, I hadn't told the couple because I don't want them to worry or be stressed at all. But at that point, I had to because I had to sit for a second and it was weird. I knew that they would be like, what is going on with her? And I was like, I just have a little food poisoning. It's totally fine. And they were cool with it. Yeah. They didn't have any choice, I guess. But, yeah, it was the worst. So back to the reason that I even brought this up. Just talking in circles here. Yeah. It's all good. I used to have a ritual before weddings where I wouldn't eat out anymore. Like I was like, I will only eat at home like the day before because I was like, I do not want to experience that again. Yeah. But it was so long ago that I'm kind of over that now. So yeah, night before, I really don't do much other than just like chill. I usually, like Fridays, I never book anything. Like I won't book shoots on a Friday. I won't book I might have like hangouts with friends or something, but I won't do any like work stuff Fridays.
I won't even do that. Yeah. I want to hang out with people. Anyway,
right? You're like, my social battery needs to fully charge because it's going to be depleted within 24 hours. Yeah. And then the morning of is really, I eat as much as I can because I know that once I leave, I'm not going to eat till dinner, right? That's no matter when you start. And I have like a little document that's like bring, and I just have all the list of all the things I need to bring. And I make sure I like check everything off and double check. Like I have all my memory cards. I've got all my gear. I've got my water bottle, my watch, I put on deodorant, I've got my phone, like just all the little things, right? And that's pretty much it, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day before, I always tell my wife, I said, I have a wedding tomorrow, just so you know, we're sitting on the couch all night.
Yep.
And I don't take shoots in the afternoon, just like you. Mm-hmm. I will only eat at places I've eaten at before.
See, you know.
So that doesn't happen.
Yep.
I won't do any I like to do a lot of activities.
Yeah.
And I won't do any the day before a wedding.
You don't want to like be tired the next morning?
No, I don't want to get hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. So like I won't ride my bike.
Okay. I was like, what kind of activities?
I won't do certain things.
Yeah.
Usually I like to work out every day. And because I don't get to work out on a wedding day, I like have to do it the day before.
Yeah.
So I always have I do the same. This is my pre-wedding day workout, and it's like a very like low injury, low soreness risk workout.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's yep. Yeah. You got to do it. You got to take You're like got to take the day off ish so that you're fully as at 100% at 110% as you can be on a wedding day because it's gonna it requires that. Yeah.
So you like the 12 to 9s, eh?
I do. I like a late start or not like later. You know. Yeah.
I think mine this Saturday is 11 to 9, which I love it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm home by and it's in the city. So I'm home in like 10 minutes instead of, how nice does getting in your car at like Sprucewood and just like 30-minute drive home feel?
I'm only 20 minutes from Sprucewood. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm in LaSalle, so it's not bad. But like, same, it's the best. I put on the like heated seat even in the summer, just for my back. I'm like, this is what I need.
I drive home in silence from weddings, no radio.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just like a...
Yeah, you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's true, you're going from like this party atmosphere of craziness. Do you wear earplugs at weddings?
No.
Anthony, do it.
I think Michael does.
It's like yeah. Oh, probably because I've yelled at him 10,000 times about it. Yeah. I force earplugs on every single wedding vendor. I'm like, do you wear earplugs? It's very important for your ear health.
They're in my bag. But
as soon as the DJ or band starts up, earplugs in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I walk by the booth, I always plug my ear. But yeah, I don't know. I have them in my bag too because I shoot concerts.
Yeah.
So like they're in my camera bag.
Well, at least you're wearing them for concerts, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like a party at like a wedding reception is similar to a concert with like, especially depending on who the DJ is and what's going on there. Like can be intense.
Do you always wear earplugs?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. 100%. I'm showing my age too. But ear health, it's like a cumulative thing. So if and plus like my dad has tinnitus, my sister's hearing's terrible. I'm like, I would like to be able to hear music when I'm, 60 plus.
Yeah, so. No, that makes sense. Music's the best thing ever.
100%. It is.
So did you say, you're not doing like, how many doubles would you say you did a month this year? Maybe like one?
This year I have 2 doubles. So yeah, my last one is in the first weekend of November, but yeah, only a couple this year. I had a couple years where I had no doubles at all because pre-COVID, this so funny. The things that you work toward as a wedding photographer, because everything you have to plan so far in advance, right? If you're like, I'm going to take less weddings, that means in 2 years, not like this summer. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take any more doubles anymore. And then in 2019, I had no doubles. And then COVID happened in 2020. And it was basically like, you were like, I will give you any day I'm available. Like, it doesn't matter for a couple, anything we could do to help people at that time. So I shot like a crap ton of doubles through like 2020, 2021, 2022. And just now I'm getting back to not doing many anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. With those COVID. You just put them everywhere.
You do what you got to do at that point. But yeah, I try not to take them now because they're not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to be good for the second couple. That's not fair to them either, right?
Exactly. That's so much of it is that I know that when I'm shooting a wedding, I want to be able to give 110, 120%. And when you're going day after day, it's literally not possible. So yeah.
Where were you this past weekend?
Where was I? Oh, I was at Hearn Lodge, the new wedding venue.
Oh, I haven't been there yet. How
was
it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good shade?
Yeah. So like the property's huge. There's like tons of trees. And so obviously this past Saturday it was raining. So
I was off this Saturday.
You picked a good one.
I was driving and I was with my friend and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, it's a Saturday. He's like, so? I was like, it rained all day. He's like, so? And I was like, it's like the only Saturday I have off. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry for that.
No, it was still all good. Hearn Lodge is a great place if it's raining because the actual building is stunning, like the inside. So we were able to do a lot of photos inside. And then, it stopped raining. I think it was like 4:00 when it stopped raining for most of the day. So we still got to do like a great set of outside photos. Yeah. But they have like golf carts. We took golf carts out to the tree line. So they're like most of the property is like forest and trails. So if you go back there's tons of shade, obviously. But the main property is more open and there's like a big pond and stuff, but it's stunning. It's one of those places that I wish it hadn't been raining because there's so, like, when you see a new property and you can just instantly be like, I want to put a couple there. I want to put a couple there. I can see the composition here. And because of the rain and stuff, we just didn't have time to do all those things, but I can't wait to go back and utilize it again.
For sure.
Yeah.
Will you ever do, because you're kind of limited a bit, will you ever do like the full family photos in direct sun because there's no option, or will you always move it or do it somewhere else?
I don't know that I've ever done them in direct sun. Yeah. There's almost always an option that works. That's like that there's always something.
Yeah.
Like depending on the time of day too, right? Because like it could be direct sun, but if it's late enough in the day and they're a little backlit and it's not too, right? Because it's not only the light, it's also like how squinty people are and everything.
And where you put the sun, I guess.
Yeah, all those things. So yeah, almost always there's shade to work with. I don't think I've ever like had them just out in the sun and making it work. Sometimes I will, like, because sometimes people have in their head ahead of time that they want to do pictures in a certain spot, and then on the day of, you're like, ooh, the light there is actually really bad. It's like,
and then they're always like, why? It's bright.
Exactly. You're like, well, would you like to sit down for a class on lighting? And I'll tell you why it's bad. Sometimes, honestly, I have like taken a photo before and then literally just like shown them on the back of my camera and been like, see the shadows here, see this, this is why. Like you get the deep, like the skull, deep sunken eye look and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. But I like now, I think because I've been doing this so long, most people that hire me are like very trusting of me in general and what I'm going to say. Yeah. So it's very nice that I don't have to argue with people really ever. If I tell them that it's not going to look good, they're just like, great, Nicole, where do you want us to go?
That's always nice. Yeah. Usually it's like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One time I was at St. Clair and they were like on the balcony.
Yes.
And they wanted to do with the skyline. And it was like, that's terrible light up there in the middle of the day. But I did it like the old school way, and I used a flash.
Yeah.
So you just like blast them hard with the flash.
They're gonna keep those eyes open.
Yeah, like very, very bright flash directly. Yeah. It's a weird kind of look.
It's cool. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For family photos, it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to do it for bride and groom portraits, but bride and groom's only 2 people. It's easy to put them in a good light.
Exactly. Yeah. Way more options.
Yeah.
Way more options. It's always the weddings when there's like, when they have massive wedding parties and then it rains or you have to do something indoors and then it's such a struggle. And that's something I think people don't think about when I'm like, if you have 10 people on each side, your options for where you can do photos go down to like almost nothing. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to fit that many people inside for a photo. Whereas if you have like 3 people, we can do so much more.
That's why I love Brunette.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to have 20 people standing, you have to do photos at Brunette. you don't, obviously.
Literally.
Like, can you
Brunette was like the place. It's so funny. I feel like every year there's like a different location that becomes like the it spot for a couple of years. And I feel like Brunette's in its
prime.
It is. She's having her best era right now. She's given.
Yeah. I love it there. It's just so easy.
It is. The light's gorgeous.
And it's gorgeous in multiple spots.
Yes.
And it's gorgeous in the spots they want to be in, which is,
I know. It's just, and it's like a walkable path. It's paved. It's got like, it ticks all the boxes. It really does. Yeah,
and it's like pretty central-ish.
Yeah. It works for a lot of different weddings.
Yeah. Yeah, I go there a lot now.
Yeah, same. It's like right around the corner from my house too. So it's like for engagement sessions, family photos, all my minis this year are there for fall stuff. So it's a great spot.
I think we saw each other there like 3 months ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
But what day when do you do your fall photos? Do you have like your day, like your mini day picked?
Yeah, I don't even remember what day. I have 3 or 4, or maybe more, maybe 4 days. I have a few weekdays that I threw in there too. Like the main day is one day at the end of October. It's like the only Sunday that I had that would work for it. Usually that's just kind of how it goes. I book all my wedding stuff and then I will just kind of put minis in where it makes sense for the rest. Like I'm not going to do Christmas minis this year just because I'm going to be gone on vacation for most of November and I just don't want to do it. So minis are kind of they're an extra thing that I do sometimes, but they're not like the big thing.
Where do you usually do your Christmas ones?
I used to always do them out at the tree farm. Which one? Oh my gosh, what's the name? It's like Workingtons or something like that out in the county. You pay
them to shoot there?
Yeah, I think it was like, they don't charge a lot. It's like $50 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And I would shoot out there. And then last year I rented out the RC studio, their like studio space that they have it's on Droulard. Yeah, which is really nice. And that was really fun. That was my first time ever like doing like studio shooting.
They have Christmas stuff set up in there?
Yeah, they did a couple different like setups or whatever. I think I did one day of them there last year and that was it. So
I might do that I usually set it up in here. So I move everything. I do like obviously I have a big backdrop here.
Yeah.
Then I have a big one over there.
Yeah.
Then I have all this stuff comes off the walls and I have 2 small ones on the wall.
Oh my God.
My couch goes over there. There's props everywhere. It looks cool. It's a fucking nightmare.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of work.
Last year was the first time because I would just leave it set up. Like I would set up the last week of November and I'd leave it set up till Christmas for like all the stragglers. You know, if I'm going to set it up, I might as well just do as many as I can.
Absolutely.
So like I'll leave it up for the But last year I was like, nope, it's up for exactly like 20 days.
Yep.
And it's coming down this day because I hate it.
I'm over it.
But I think I might just rent, which makes no sense at all when you have a space.
I mean, it does though for the less work, and it's and RC Studio, they did such a gorgeous job. Like they have all of their like because they do rentals for wedding decor and stuff too, right? Mm-hmm. So they're fantastic. Yeah, they were great, and I know Carrie's got a studio too. She's got her Nova studio, and she does a setup there too, which is great. So you've got options.
Cool. Yeah, I might think I'm gonna do that. Mm-hmm. I hate it. Mm-hmm. It ruins my workflow for other things. Like
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Because I don't have my space. Like meetings, it's like somebody's like, we like want to come by to like book our wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just so you know, it's a winter wonderland in here.
Right?
There's
You're like,
toys everywhere.
Come sit on the sleigh while we have a wedding conversation.
And it's funny because I do that, or like at Christmas, like because I build frames.
Yeah.
So I'm always building like crazy, and my workshop's in there, and like it's just there's stuff, it's in the way. Ugh.
Yeah. It's just I get it. I can't. Nope. It's too much. It's too much.
So I want to. Okay, have you ever done the wedding shows before or no?
So my very first year, I did a wedding show, and that was the only time I did it, just the once. It's crazy and overwhelming and a lot of work, and I applaud the people that do it, but it's not for me.
I only started doing it 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I've done 5 now.
Okay.
And I actually have a lot of fun doing it.
Like the actual day of like talking to everybody and meeting all the couples is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I keep doing it. Well, no, that's not true because I just booked something on Friday from the one a week ago. Like
fantastic.
And as a photographer, you only have to book one to make it worth it.
Absolutely.
So, but now I have a blast doing it.
Yeah.
My setup only takes 45 minutes to load in and set up.
That's nice. I feel like once you have like your booth constructed, you're just like doing the same thing every time, right? You don't have to reconstruct the wheel each time you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Suitors Photography?
Yep.
So John, who did the show since he's been doing the show since the 90s, he gave me his wall.
Oh, nice.
Which takes like 10 minutes to set up. It's huge.
Yeah.
Everything's huge on it.
Amazing.
And he just gave it to me, and I use that, and it's awesome.
That's the way to do it. Because honestly, I remember like the amount of work it was to figure out like what I was setting up and how and trying to look good. I mean, it was also my first year, so like the work I had to show wasn't as much as, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was fun, but yeah, it's so much work.
How do you do most of your marketing? Obviously, most is word of mouth.
Word of mouth and Instagram has always been my like number one marketing tool. Yeah. So like it, as soon as I started really putting, like I've always loved social media, as I was talking about LiveJournal, and I'm no like stranger to putting myself and whatever online. So social media was like super an easy way for me to like market myself, and it was something I loved doing as well. So Instagram has been my like number one way of marketing, other than word of mouth, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, we see you on Instagram, and you're always, I think a big reason, like, you don't even, you just share, like, your life, and I think that brings people in.
Absolutely, 100%. I think that's what a lot of people who go on Instagram, when their goal is to market their business, they forget that, like, other than this small amount of time when someone is, like, actively looking to book vendors for their wedding, if they're not going to care about following you outside of that small, like, time period, right? So you have to give people a reason to follow you outside of that. So because you want people following you before they book their wedding like so many people, when they inquire with me, they tell me that they've been following me for years on Instagram. And if all I was posting was wedding content, they would not have been following me for years because they wouldn't have cared.
Who cares? Yeah.
Exactly. Like it can be the most beautiful photo in the world, and if it's not someone you know, you don't really care.
True.
Yeah. So,
very true.
So absolutely. I think that that's something a lot of photographers forget about, that people need to have a reason to follow them outside of just that, and sharing who you are and your life is like the easiest way to do that.
Yeah,
so
that's very true. Smart, very smart.
Yeah.
I want to move into, so you went on a trip to Scotland, I saw. I remember that, and then I also was like going through your Instagram to come up with questions. So, and you shot like for yourself there.
I had we did like a photo shoot there. Like we had a photographer shoot me and my husband there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you also took pictures of like
Scotland itself. Like what was going on there. Yeah.
Do you ever shoot, like, I do a lot of like personal like artwork.
Yes, like travel photography stuff.
Yeah. Do you do like a lot of personal work or even stuff here? Or?
Honestly, it's something I've been working on this year doing more of, because I feel like when you're a photographer, it's easy to get stuck in that like the work, it stops being fun outside of just work, right? Because it becomes just work and you're not being creative for yourself anymore. So I was intentional for that trip specifically about bringing my camera, because the last few trips I've been on, I brought my camera and then took like no photos, like just did nothing. Even earlier in the year, honestly, in March, we went to Tokyo and I took almost no photos myself, other than like on my phone, I took some, but I didn't take my camera out at all.
Wow.
Which is insane now to think about. But
it makes sense.
It's just, you have to be intentional about taking your camera out, because it's like, it's a big thing where your phone is just on you all the time. It's easy to have and whatever. But no, it was great taking it out and forcing myself to be creative while being there. I think it helps you to be creative in your work as well. I'm sure you've experienced that, like things that you learn while you're shooting for yourself creatively, you bring into your paid work as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm so much better at my personal work because I'm just taking pictures all day, every day.
Yeah.
So,
well, it changes how you look at the world. Like, that's one of the coolest things I think about being a photographer, is that it changes how you look at the world, as far as like the way you see light, the way you see small moments, the way you see composition, just everything. You're literally looking at the world in a different way. Mm-hmm. So the more you force yourself to do that, whether it's for your own work or paid work, you're going to just get better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does your husband feel about you missing every single Saturday forever?
Honestly, he's very much a homebody. So for him, it's not like a big thing. It's more like friends and family. He's pretty chill about it. He knew what he was signing up for. When we met, I was like already, shooting for a couple of years, so he knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife, she's a homebody too. She doesn't really care at all.
Yeah.
But it's like friends and family are always like, why you never add anything? Yeah. And it's like, I just didn't want to go.
Right? You're like, I just wasn't into it. Honestly, I'm so lucky. So I think because I've been doing it for so long, like my family, like the events that happen every year, they purposely plan so I can go, whether that's like picking a weekend that I happen to have open or making things on Sundays or Fridays, which is really amazing. I feel like very rarely do I feel like I miss out on like big things. That's because nice. I'm very lucky that people in my life take into consideration that I have a crazy job and Saturdays aren't my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it does suck. I'm missing some, but yeah, you're right. I've never really missed anything big. Yeah. I'm just always worried that I'm going to have to.
Right. Exactly. Honestly, it's like, I feel like there's going to be a wedding at some point, of like a family wedding that I can't go to because of that, but it hasn't happened yet. Even like when my cousin got married, they got married in March, and I was like, March is a great month. We love a March wedding.
My birthday's November 5th. Okay. So it's like, as things start to, Christmas is busy, but it's as like the shooting starts to calm down a bit.
Yeah,
and
fall
I love
is chilling.
Yeah. When's your birthday?
Mid-June. June
Oh,
16th.
Fun. Nice. So you don't really get a birthday?
I think I've shot my birthday weekend like every year, pretty much since I started. Yeah, but it's fine. I did my birthday party this year like a week before on the Sunday, because the weekend of my actual wedding, I had a 9-hour day, but the weekend before it was an 8-hour wedding. So I was like, well, 8 hours, maybe I'll feel better on the Sunday than I would have on the 9-hour day.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Say you only have a Saturday, like what do you do on the Sunday? Like, do you utilize the day or do you rest? It
is a day of rest for me. Yes.
Really?
I take that from the Bible, I just do nothing, literally. My Sundays are like, I'm a vegetable. I chill on the couch. It's honestly, it's not the best way to be. I've done it other days where I like, you go for a walk, you get moving, that makes you feel better. But generally I just do nothing. I chill. I'm on my phone way too much. I watch bad TV, eat bad food. It's great. Yeah.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm bad at like, after a wedding, I'm like, well, I only get one day now. So I just
do all the things
crazy. Yeah.
Really? You have the energy for that on a Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
Probably because you work out all the time. And, take good care of your body and stuff. It's worth it.
I do have lots of energy. Everybody always says that. I do.
It's a good thing to have. It is a good thing to have. But
I'm thankful for my energy. Because all seriously, like most weddings, like I'll shoot whatever, I'll get home, and then like my friends are picking me up at 7 a.m. and we're like going mountain biking for like 8 hours. And
oh my God.
I just do it.
We live very different lives, Anthony. I'm like, I don't move. He's like, I go mountain biking for 8 hours. It's different strokes for different folks. I don't know.
But I feel like, the Friday I couldn't do anything because of the wedding. And then the Saturday I worked the wedding all day. So it's like, and the nice thing about doing things like that on a Sunday is like, my next wedding is far away.
So if you did get injured, you've got a whole week to recover? I see.
Or sore, tired, or whatever.
Yeah. Fair.
And I don't mind being... So, okay, I got a question for you. What is your office time? Like, when are you in the office? Whenever?
No, not whenever. So it's like Monday to Friday, I put in at least like 3 to 4 hours of work per day. I feel like I've got it pretty streamlined, where like usually I'm in the office from like 11 till 3 or 4 in the afternoon, most like Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. answering emails, doing my edits, getting my galleries out, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's like I try to do 20-ish hours a week during the week, and then I've got my like 8 to 10 hours of shooting, and then I'm good for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to.
How many engagement shoots do you do a week?
Per week? I mean, probably not. It wouldn't even be one a week because it's yeah. So like the way that my packages work, my top package has like everything, including an engagement session, but the bottom two don't have an engagement session. It's something you have to add on. So not all of my couples do an engagement session. So most of them do still. But I'd say maybe like 75%. So I'm probably only doing like, in the past, like 30-ish spread out throughout the whole year. So not quite one per week. Like this time of year, it's probably like 2 per week.
That was a big thing I had to do when I started. It was included with all my packages. And then you're just doing them like crazy and you lose like every day.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I won't book. So like 2 per week is my max of any shoot. So like if I have, say I have minis that week, or I do the occasional like newborn session and stuff. That's usually just for like past wedding clients and things. I don't advertise those. But if I have any kind of shoot, I won't do more than 2 during the week. So like 1 wedding, 2 shoots, that's the most I'll book in a week.
Really?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
I mean, it's taken me a while to get there, but honestly, because I like to be able to be flexible if there's like weather issues, if it's raining or something like that, whether it's minis or engagement sessions. And 2, I want to feel like I have a life, because like you're shooting at the time of day when things are happening. Most people work a 9 to 5, and if you're shooting a wedding all day Saturday and then you're shooting all evening throughout the week, when do you see anybody?
No, for sure.
Right. So
it's all about being intentional with it. Like obviously you are. It's funny because like, this was the first year I've had like the most life, and it's my working is totally different than the way you do it.
Yeah.
But I've had the free time when I want it.
And that's what matters most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sundays and Mondays, like if this was so before it was always like, I have to work all day Monday to Friday. And then if I had a wedding on the weekend, on a Saturday, like I would take the Sunday off, but then that was it. Or if I had shoots all day Sunday, I just wouldn't take any time off and I'd just go back to work. And then this year I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking Mondays off.
Yeah. Have a weekend.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like everyone else's weekend.
And honestly, this was the first year that I've adapted. Like I've had the most time to do like the most non-work fun things.
Yeah.
And it's been great. My work hasn't suffered at all. Everything's been...
If anything, it gets better because you as a person are more like... you're feeling better mentally and physically, and you're having more time to also engage in your own hobbies and things that make you like that fuel your creative fire and all of those things. Whereas if you're just working, that's when you end up feeling like a cookie cutter photographer, where you're like, oh my gosh, every wedding feels the same. It's because you're not giving yourself that breathing room between to like be your own human, like enjoy your life. Yeah,
like you want to start a wedding and be like kind of feeling inspired or like...
Exactly, 100%. Not just like, oh, there's another one. Like, yeah, you want to be excited about who these people are, what this story is, what this location is, what the day is going to bring, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What does your husband do?
He used to be in the tool and die industry in Windsor, and we joke now that he's retired. So I've retired him.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a house husband. It's the best.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's around in the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's very helpful with all the things that help support me in the business. I've played around before with him helping with like culling and editing and stuff like that, but we haven't. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I have not fully released the reins on any of that. But
do you edit everything yourself from both shooters? Like you cull and edit?
So I have outsourced culling now. So I have someone who culls for me, and then of course I go over everything and make sure that the cull is what I would have wanted and all that. But it's much easier once someone has already done it to do that. And then I edit it all, but I do utilize AI editing first, and then I go through afterwards and make sure everything is exactly how I want and do all my little tweaks and changes, and and then I'm all good.
When did you start using the AI stuff?
Early last year.
I did a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been, I think, about maybe a year and a half now that I've been doing it, and it's amazing.
Which one do you use?
Imagine.
Okay. Yeah. I use the other one, Aftershoot.
Yep.
Honestly, what I use it for is like, I don't even care what their presets are. I'll just pick one.
Yeah.
And then I just let it use the exposure, the white balance, and the cropping and straightening, which I feel it nails.
Yep.
And then I just copy and paste my look.
Preset on after?
Yeah. Like I copy and paste my curves,
Yep.
my tones, my colors,
Yep.
which is where your style comes from.
Yep.
And then it did the tedious nonsense.
Yeah, the stuff that is just taking it to baseline is looking, yeah.
Yeah. It took all like a lot of like the time of just tedious BS.
Yeah. Oh, it's the stuff that's not about being creative in that aspect. That's just the easy things, I guess.
Yeah.
I use Imagine similarly, but it has like a profile built that is basically my preset into it and everything. And I think Aftershoot's similar, where it can like learn does it let you like upload your weddings after and learn from it or whatever? And
what's funny is it wanted me to attach a bunch of galleries.
Yeah.
But I delete them from Lightroom after, so I didn't have any of them there to do that.
Oh, why do you delete them?
I don't know. It makes Lightroom run a little bit slower, I find. Oh. You don't think so?
No.
Like you have like...
Do you use like a separate like catalog every time you're like uploading a wedding?
Like a full catalog?
Yeah, like a brand new one for each wedding?
No. Do you?
Yeah.
I just use the one and then they're all just on the side.
No, then it will definitely slow down Lightroom.
You do a different catalog every single wedding?
Every wedding.
Wow.
100%.
But I'm not only editing weddings. I probably do like 15 or 20 other shoots a week.
Well, you could have like a catalog that was just like for real estate, say, and then keep all your real estate in there, but then have like a separate one for each wedding.
No, I just have one catalog for everything I do.
No.
But
I mean, you could do however you want.
But like, I don't know. My computer's really fast. Like,
yeah.
I never notice any lag.
Yeah, but it makes sense though that why you would delete weddings after then, because it will make it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So and then, but like I said, like the exposure, the white balance, and the cropping is really all I needed to do. And then because like I don't really change like my colors and my tones and my curves are the same through every single photo.
Yeah,
right?
Same. Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
What kind of animal changes that around?
I'm sure they're out there. I don't know, but I'm sure.
So you had it like adapt to you, and then it just edits to you.
Yeah. So then I get like it sends out like the final form. It does the same thing where it's like I don't use crop because I don't love how the crop is. I feel like for me that's something I want to do myself, but I do use straightening. So then afterwards, when I go through everything, I find that I'm fine tuning way less, because it's basically like, let's say an average preset would get you like halfway to what you would want it to look like in the end. The AI is going to get you like 90% of the way there. So I'm like just doing teeny tiny tweaks throughout the whole gallery. So instead of taking, I'd say before AI, I was probably spending like 10 to 15 hours per gallery editing the whole thing.
Jeez.
Now it's probably like 2 to 3 hours at most, just going through and checking things, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot that I do after is adding all the black and whites in.
Yeah, that's easy though.
That takes some time, a couple minutes, but yeah, not too crazy.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So my process has always been like, I do the full edit in Lightroom, and then I export it, and then I go through it in like window photos, and then go back to Lightroom to make my change, because I feel like they look. It's like the full, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It looks different there. That's always what I've done. I don't know.
Yeah. No, if it works.
You do your final look through in Lightroom, export, and then just send it off. You never look at them after they're exported.
I mean, like I'll do like a quick, I make sure that like everything exported properly and that like all the images are there. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I might start doing that, because it's a lot faster if you don't do that.
Yeah. It seems like an unnecessary step.
Because I always have to go check back and forth. I've been doing that for a decade.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, stop doing that. You're going to get like an hour of your life back per wedding at least.
Yeah, I might start doing that. Do you do commercial work ever or no?
Nope.
No?
Nope, none at all. I send it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a big part of my year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like everything.
That's good.
The only thing I don't like is, there's something I don't like. I can't even remember what it is.
Like I've just crossed it out of my mind.
I don't like
completely.
in-studio newborns, and I don't take them.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
I do in
like the
ones.
posy. I do like the lifestyle. Yeah.
Like the Jill. Like I'll leave those for Jill.
100%.
Yeah, just send them to Jill.
Everyone just Jill Wilhelm is where you want to go for your stylized newborn photos. Yeah, shout out to Jill.
Just send them to her.
She does an amazing job, but it's its own skill set, and it's not one that I care to learn. So yeah.
I literally shoot everything. Like you could add, like this week is completely different than last week. Every day is different. I'm just doing everything, but I don't do those.
That's fun though. I feel like that's really got to like stretch your abilities and everything when you're just really doing everything.
True. Yeah. Especially swapping between photo and video.
Yeah, that I can't imagine. Video seems like its own like And every time I talk to anyone who does video for weddings, I'm like, how long does it take you to edit a video? Oh, how many times did you listen to that speech? How many?
Well, I ask myself every time why I'm doing this, because like essentially, you know, it's kind of sucks. So, and it's nobody's fault and it makes sense, but people value their photos more than the video.
Generally, yeah.
And the video is way more gear and way more work.
It is. It is.
It's not even like when I go to shoot a wedding, I bring 2 backpacks for a photo.
Yep.
And a bag of like stands and tripods in case it rains, whatever.
Yep.
With video, oh my God, 16 bags, mics and lights and
it's the audio. The audio. I can't
yeah.
imagine. That's what I'm always like, oh my gosh.
It's so scary.
Yeah. It's honestly, you're producing like this little movie on a day when no one wants you to, basically. I mean, like the bride and groom want you to, but like it's like everything is working against you to like capture what you're trying to capture.
Yeah, and like
it's a lot.
With photo, like if you expect the bride to walk down the aisle and then go do this and she doesn't, you just move over there and keep shooting. But video, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That if you're moving, that camera's out now.
Yeah.
And you have to have all the other ones being ready.
Well, even for speeches, I think about that because like when I'm eating dinner, like I can wait until I hear the DJ announce that someone is coming up to do a speech, and they could have even like been at the very beginning of their opening, and it's okay if I'm still walking up there because I was like shoving, you know, potatoes in my mouth or something. But it's real talk. But for video, you guys have to know ahead of time. You have to have everything already up there and set up, because if it's not recording when they first walk up to start their speech, that's weird. That's not great for the video. It's there's just so many little detail things. It's people don't realize.
Usually like I'll get there. So like they did their first dance and now it's dinner time. So I'll go put like mic 1, I'll clip it on the microphone, turn it on. Into the board, turn it on, and another one laying on the stand, turn it on.
Yeah.
And I'll shut them off for the whole hour and a half dinner.
Yeah.
So then like that's always being. So if they didn't give me the heads up that I asked for 16 times, then even if I clicked record on the camera, like, I don't know, 15 seconds after they started the speech.
Yeah, you've got the audio.
I do have the audio.
That makes sense. That makes it easier.
And it's never really a big deal. I like when I'm doing video to sit at the same table as the DJ.
Yes.
And I say, shut the mic off so they can't talk into it without getting you.
Yep.
And then
that's smart. And then you know you're not going to miss anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Things you learn, right? From having not done it and been like, oh my God.
I'm editing a video wedding right now, and I feel so like I love it. I'm so excited to share this thing.
Yeah.
I am much prouder of the videos because it's like I made this like production.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the after, it's like being a little like you're being a movie director, which is funny because when I was in high school, that was my like dream job, was being a movie director. And I feel like with photography, it's similar in that you're getting to tell this story and like your own, the visual version of it, right? But obviously with video, it's closer to an actual movie. You are producing a little movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because it takes so long to edit. Like I've delivered weddings since this wedding. I always do them in order.
Yeah.
But with video, it's like, no, like the ones after you are getting sent back before yours.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just takes too long.
Yeah. It's a different beast.
Yeah. But it's going to be sick.
Yeah, that's exciting.
The big thing is too, like, okay, they got a full length that's an hour long. Once that's export, I gotta watch the whole damn thing. I gotta make sure there's no mistake.
Of course,
it takes an hour to watch an hour video.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
Yeah, it's like, not just like flipping through some photos and making sure everything looks good on a like second by second basis. It's you have to watch the whole thing. Yeah, it's a time sink. I can't imagine. That's why I'm like every time I talk with video anyone who does video, I'm just like couldn't be me, honestly.
And the files for this wedding is over 200 gigs just for one. Yeah.
There's never enough space, no matter what. Even I was just talking to my husband actually, because he built my computer, and I was like, I've had it for like 5 years now, I think. I'm like, I feel like it's time maybe for an upgrade, for something new.
Have you swapped anything in the 5 years in it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can, well, I'm sure if your husband built it, he knows. But there's just like, that's why I love having a built computer. Like every 2 years, I'll just swap like a $200 part and then it just like booms.
Oh, absolutely.
For the next 2 years.
But I think my I don't know enough about computers to, I probably shouldn't start talking about it. I know I have a solid state drive as my operating system is on that, and that's what I want to upgrade. So he's like, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass to like upgrade the operating system part of it is the hardest part to switch out, I guess, which makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's on one of the, so like, I have my solid state drive that like the operating system's on.
Yeah.
And then my motherboard takes 2 of those. So it's essentially like I have a hard drive plugged in.
Yeah.
It's just fast as fuck and it's part of the computer.
Love that.
And it's like 10,000 times faster than the hard drive.
Love that. Also like knowing I can swear on here since you just said that. I should have asked before we started.
You can swear.
Excellent. We're going to just really up the swear words at this point in the podcast. Good to know.
Do you keep your RAWs on your computer or on the hard drive and work from them?
I work from a hard drive, yeah.
So I always did that, and then last year...
I know, I should put them on the solid state drive and use it from there. I'm sure it will go faster.
There was never enough room until I got the new motherboard that takes 2.
Yeah. See, this is why I'm like, I don't need to because everything is fast enough, but I'm like, it would probably be nice to have it upgraded. Yeah.
It's very fast.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes. It's very nice.
I am jealous.
So I wanted to ask you about, there's like a couple things I still want to ask you about.
Good.
What's up with your mentoring sessions?
What's up with them?
Yeah, what is it? Are you doing them?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I usually do a few a year. It's not something that I like heavily promote or anything. I first just put them up on my website because I was getting so many people like inquiring about stuff. And I always tell photographers that like, if you're ever going to ask me a question, whether it's like in person or sending me a DM or an email or whatever, if it's something I can answer in like a couple of minutes, I have no problem just answering it, no problem. But if it takes longer than that, then I'll be like, hey, I also offer mentoring. And those are basically, it's tailored to the person and what they're looking for and what their needs are. But I have a convo with them ahead of time to see what specifically they want to delve into. And it's honestly almost anything about the business and photography. Most people, I find that like they think they want to talk about X, Y, and Z, and then I sit down with them and I'm like, okay, we're gonna backtrack because what I've just learned from where they're at, I'm like, there's certain building blocks that I want to focus on first because I think that's gonna be what you actually need. Because sometimes you don't know what you need, right? When you're earlier on in your
Do you
journey.
take them to shoot with you too, or you just sit down and talk with them?
It depends. So there's different packages. So usually people pick the one where it's both. So they'll sit down with me for a few hours. I think it's supposed to be 2 hours, but it's almost always more because I'm sure you know even from doing this. Like once you start talking about something that, especially like your job and something you're excited about, like for myself, it's just like word vomit. I can't shut up. So it's usually like more than 2 hours of just talking, and then we do a photo shoot after. So whether it's just a couple and we're going out and I'm showing them a little bit about how I shoot and what my flow is like so they can see what that looks like. And then also me guiding them in their own shooting and any questions they have about like, you know, their camera and shooting and the actual act of shooting, working with couples, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like doing that?
I love it.
It's fun.
I was actually surprised when I started doing it, like how much I like it. It's fantastic. And then like Alicia and I did a workshop, which was just before COVID. So I can't believe that's like almost 5 years ago now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we did a workshop together and we had like 30 photographers come, and
I remember
it
when
was,
you guys did that.
Yeah, it was like the wildflower workshop, and and that was like, honestly, that day was so much fun. We need to do another one. It was fantastic. But
yeah, I'll come if you do another one.
Yeah, it was so good. Just honestly, just having like everyone in a room that you know has like a similar goal creatively and getting to meet other people in the industry and such. Like, especially I think for like newer photographers, getting to meet other people who are at a similar level as you in the industry is really fantastic. Just like to have that friend and that counterpoint. Like, it's such a weird job because we're so solo for most of it, right? Like, unless you reach out to other people who do it. And I think it's really like amazing to have other people that do the same thing.
That's why I really like our Facebook group, and I feel like it connects all of us a lot.
It's good. Honestly, I feel like the Essex County photography just like community is special. Like, I don't think it's like that everywhere.
Where everybody's friends.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we're all, I mean, every once in a while, you know, we get the popcorn out, but but I feel like it's a great community, and there's a lot of like, everyone is, for the most part, like looking out for one another. I keep hitting that, sorry. That's okay. Looking out for one another and like, just like cheering each other on kind of thing, which is really cool. Yeah,
I like, everybody's like, when I like explain it to people, they're like, but like, that's your competition. I was like, nah, but it's not though. They're more like my colleagues. Yeah, because it really is true that like there's such different clients for different photographers, and who you're going to be attracting and who you're going to do the best job for is different for everybody, right? So it really is not, I don't feel like it's competition either, Like, I look at it like this, like, if you come to me and I'm booked, because, like, I don't have an associate shooter, like, if I'm booked, I can't take the booking. Yep. So, Actually, I've been kind of delving into that a little bit. But anyway, that's a different topic. But
we can circle back later.
so like I would give it to somebody or post it.
Yeah.
And then they'll give one back. So now I didn't lose the wedding.
Right.
Because
it's a mutual exactly, absolutely. Yeah. And then you find out who in the industry is going to be a similar photographer to you in the way that it would make sense to recommend like clients to them and stuff, right? Because you're like, whether it's stylistically or whatever it is, it's usually stylistically that makes most sense. But yeah, it's awesome to have that like reciprocity with another photographer.
For the first time ever, we did a couple other events and big events leading up to it, but I just had Brooke Windy Bank shoot a wedding for me 2 weeks ago.
I love Brooke.
And it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I love like Steph, who's my associate. It's so nice to have someone shoot a wedding for you. One, it's nice because you have someone that when couples come to you, it's someone you know is going to do a fantastic job that you're recommending them to. And then it's really cool to be able to still have like, to feel like you're a part of that day and edit it all afterwards and stuff. And it's nice for them too, because like having the day to just shoot and you drop the cards and then you're done, like is great from an associate standpoint too. And actually it's funny, Brooke is, she's the first person I ever second shot for.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She was like the OG that I worked with. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. She, this spring I had a huge event. It was almost a wedding. It was bar mitzvah, but it was a wedding.
Oh, wow.
And it was seriously a wedding.
Yeah.
And Brooke did it for me.
Yeah.
And then I did one for her the next weekend.
Yeah.
And we just pretty much paid each other the same amount of money, which is so funny doing that with people.
Yeah.
I've done that with like second shooters a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just like, and we always pay each other though. Yeah. We just pay each other the exact same amount of money. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it worked out, and then we've had her do this, and easy peasy.
It's wonderful when it works out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have what's your other hobbies like completely different than photography? Like what do you do?
I am very into home decor stuff. So like I love like my space, just my house in general, but like anything to do with home decor and creating like an ambiance where you live is something I love. And then like, I guess this isn't completely different from photography because I think it's part of my love for it. I don't know if it's like chicken and egg thing here, but I also love like planning events and parties. So for myself and my friends, I have never like branched out beyond, like it's not, I do not do it professionally in any way. Do not contact me about this. Just for myself and my friends. But I love like putting on like intentional events. I read a book last year, maybe the year before, called The Art of Gathering. And it's all about like being intentional about how you create get-togethers and thinking about not just the aesthetics of an event, but like what people are going to be talking about during an event. So all of that is like super interesting to me, and I love curating events and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always see your home decor stuff. Your new kitchen looks sweet.
Thank you. Thank you. I am obsessed. I still feel like I can't believe it's my house. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
We're due for that stuff inside.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's like, it's so cool to curate a space when you get to like choose everything and make it exactly what you would have wanted, it's the coolest thing. I love it. We want to do an addition too in the back. We were supposed to do it last year, but there was issues. So next year is hopefully when it'll be, but and I'm really excited to build that too, because I want to be able to use it as a place where I can like decorate a whole new room. Yay, exciting. And also a place where I can like host all my fun event stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and possibly like workshops for photographers later on and stuff too. So it'll be like, I won't use it as a studio space, but I'm going to use it for...
That's to change the battery on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No?
Okay, now we were jumping back in. Totally forgot what we were talking about.
Okay.
We were talking about additions.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was saying it was going to be a good place to redecorate and a good place to do like events and like possibly photography events, do like workshops and stuff there too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So whenever that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where are some of your favorite pictures to do creative/engagement shoots, like the creative shoot during a wedding day?
Like the creative shoot on a wedding day. Well, we talked about Brunette Park, which we both love. It is fantastic. I also love Ojibwe. I'm slightly biased because I had my own wedding photos done at Ojibwe and I love them. Where else? honestly, I feel like at this point, I feel like I get most excited about places that I haven't been before. So it's like when the couple either like rents an Airbnb and it's got really cool like property around it to utilize, or it's like a family home or something, somewhere I haven't shot before. I get really excited by that. But yeah, otherwise probably Brunette, Ojibwe. I do love Lakeside Park too. Lakeside is stunning.
I was there on Thursday.
It's so, I know it's like, they're places we're at all the time, but like they're popular for a reason, right? They're stunning. How about you?
The sunset at Lakeside on Thursday was like cotton candy. It was amazing. It was cloudy all day, and then it happened.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the last time I shot there was a wedding, and there was like the biggest pink moon on the horizon, and I have like it between the couple when they're kissing.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. There, I love like the rooftops downtown.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, like the parking garage, or
I
mean, even like St. Clair Center, like you were saying. I mean, not necessarily during the bright part of the day.
Yeah. The 2 parking garages are sweet. Even in the street's cool.
Yeah.
I do like Willisted.
Williston's beautiful. It's stunning. Absolutely. Especially when people, I mean, I love just like the park and around, but when people pay to be able to use like the gardens in the back and stuff. It's funny, one of the my most popular engagement sessions I ever did was a few years ago. You do a good session when for like years following, people are like, this is exactly what I want to do. And you're like, yeah, cool. I definitely want to shoot the exact same thing again. But it was so good. But we started at Willisted, and they did some in the garden in the back and everything. And then we went to Ojibwe afterwards. And like that combo for people was just like fire, I guess.
My combo that I've done before, I'm doing it on a wedding day, not this wedding, not this Saturday, but the next one.
Yep.
But I'm doing it, it's good I got to warm up for the wedding. I'm doing it on Sunday. This Sunday we do Jackson Park Willow Trees just for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then go downtown.
Nice.
It's like
nice
nature downtown.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Jackson Park is like, I think a lot of people don't go there anymore because they see it as like old school, but it's so pretty, and there's so much variety there too. It's stunning.
To be honest, I only like to shoot at the willow trees in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the whole thing. The other side too, where there's like the evergreen, like the row of evergreens and like that path and everything, I think is so pretty too.
Yeah.
But the willows are gorgeous.
Yeah. That's like a go-to. And especially on a wedding day, I like to go to like where I know like guaranteed light.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's part of the joy of like shooting at a place you've shot at before, especially like if you have a day where it's like a time crunch and you don't have, right? You're like, okay, I know I don't have to waste any time figuring anything out. I know where to bring you, what's going to look good, where the best spots are. And I tell people too, because I think a lot of photographers get caught up with the idea of like, I don't want to do the same thing for every wedding. And of course you don't. You do want to give like unique things to every couple, but also like certain areas have their best spots and their best angles. And like, just because you've seen that 100 times doesn't mean that couple has, or their friends have, or that, right? Like you go to the best spots. You give them the best of the best. You don't need to recreate the wheel every time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Like Willisted, like around the back corner and the little thing next to the big tree. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's where the like greenhouse areas in the back. We know what's up.
That's where the good light is there at the worst time of the day.
Exactly. When it's like 2:00 in July, that's where you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's 4 other weddings there and you have to shoot around.
Yeah, but it's all good. Yeah, we're all pretty respectful. So we make it work.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about engagement. I didn't mean to click that. That's what's nice about engagement shoots.
It's a special moment. Willisted.
That's what's nice about engagements, because you get to like almost warm up to like spots.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes couples will, a lot of times they don't want to, and it makes sense why, but a lot of times they'll want to go to where we're going to do their wedding photos.
Yeah.
And I like that too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They kind of see if they want it or not.
Yeah. See how they like the vibes. That's one thing too, that for me, again, I feel like I keep referencing because I've been doing this for so long. It has been a hot minute. But for most couples, I can be like, where do you want to do your pictures on your wedding day? Like I talk about that with them on like the first meeting that I have with them. And I can usually be like, okay, well, I can send you galleries from all of those places so you can see exactly what they look like, because I've shot at all of them. I'm like, would you like to see it in spring, summer, fall, or winter? Which one would you like? I have galleries from all of them. So it helps that way too.
That is nice.
Yes.
It's funny you talked about like your big engagement shoot.
Yeah.
I did 2 in Detroit this year, and everybody keeps referencing those.
Yep. See, it's when you know that it's people loved it.
You ever shoot over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've done a couple there this year. Which was the first time I shot there in actually since like pre-COVID. But I feel like this year a lot of people are shooting in Detroit.
Have you ever done a wedding there?
No, I will not, because I can't.
So I called the Department of Homeland Security. I seriously did.
Okay.
And I got the details. So if one of them is Canadian,
right,
you can do it. They have to pay you in full in Canadian dollars.
In Canadian, yes.
I had to bring the bank statements when I crossed.
Yeah.
And I went the night before.
Yep.
With them.
Yep. With them is the thing. Whenever I do engagement sessions, I always tell them I tell them it's mostly because to get across the border, it's much easier for me to prove that I'm shooting a Canadian couple when I'm literally in the car with them, obviously. I also don't love driving in the US, so it works out for me in multiple ways. But I feel like I'd be too nervous even with like knowing, like if one of them was Canadian, it would just scare me. Even though for my own wedding, like I said earlier, Nessa shot my wedding and she's full on American and shot my wedding. Hi, Nessa. Hopefully she won't see this, but I don't know if we should. But she did come and shoot my wedding, and it was amazing. And she came the night before, and I was the whole time leading up. I was like, "Why did I do this? If she can't get across, I have no photographer." So it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because like, man, just crossing the border in general. Like a lot of I travel. My wife works for herself now for like the last like almost 2 years, which is amazing. So I don't travel alone as much anymore.
Nice.
But I still do. Like I'm going to San Diego in like a month.
Yeah. Oh, I love San Diego.
And I'm just going solo, and I pretty much like surf all morning and just shoot all day and night for myself.
Yeah.
So I have like quite a bit of gear, but not that much.
Yeah.
And every time you cross, they're like, "Where are you going?" And I'm going here. What do you do for a living? I'm a photographer. What do you? Do you have
not suspicious at all?
Do you have your camera stuff? And then because I'm alone, I just get like hassled every time, and it's like, no, I'm not working.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what they're there to make sure, right? So, yeah, no, it's scary stuff. I definitely get inquiries for it all the time, and every time. And the worst mistake I have made is looking up and like, oh, what venue is this? And then you see, and you're like, because Detroit has the most beautiful architecture and venues. I mean, we have beautiful stuff here too, but like, it can't compare to that. Like, downtown Detroit has just the coolest shit. Yeah, so cool. And I'm like, oh. I wish I could.
It's so easy over there.
Seriously. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, so no, I haven't, but maybe, no, probably not.
Yeah, I understand like the stress level too.
Yeah, honestly, and I'm definitely like an anxious girly, so like, yeah, I think Canadian weddings for me is going to be, I mean, I have shot like in like Muskoka and stuff like that. I would love to shoot out in like Calgary, like in the mountains and stuff. That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I've only really gone so far to work is like Toronto.
Yeah.
Never for a wedding. I've never shot a wedding in Toronto.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If I go away, I'm not always I don't know if I want to work.
That's 100% how I feel. I feel like there's two schools of thought with that. Like some of my friends, so like Haley McBride, who's also a local wedding photographer, she loves shooting like small elopements and weddings, and she travels all over to do that. And she loves that. She loves combining travel and work. And I feel more like you, where I'm like, if I want a vacation, I want a vacation. And if I want to work, I want to work. Yeah. And for me, because I shoot so many weddings, I don't want to be, because like if even Toronto, like if you're doing a wedding in Toronto, the day before and the day after is a write-off, because you have to get up there, you have to get back, you're staying the night, whatever it is. Suddenly that's such a more time sink than if you're just shooting a wedding in Essex County. So like I almost never leave Essex County on purpose. Like that's where I want to shoot all my weddings.
Just like destination weddings, it's like, okay, but like, no, I can't really go shoot your wedding in Mexico in October and be gone for the entire week.
Exactly.
Because like, it's October, like I have a lot of work that week.
Exactly. It's not just like you're taking over what would have been a wedding that weekend. It's a whole week. 100%.
And I don't think I could relax knowing that I'm gone away with my client.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Even after shooting the wedding, knowing that like, I don't know, because I have my like system at home of backing up everything and knowing where my cards are. And even like, I wouldn't feel like I could fully relax until that part of it was done. And even, I don't know.
True.
It's not for me.
True.
No.
I'm always anxious when backing everything up.
Right?
Yeah.
Even when you've got your like double car, you've done all the things, you know everything's fine, you're still just like a little bit nervous. Yeah.
Where do you put like that folder? I put it on 3 drives for weddings until it's edited.
Absolutely. 3 drives, and then I keep it on the cards too until it's like uploaded and delivered.
How many cards do you have?
A decent amount, but I also like edit pretty quick.
Okay. Like how long do you take to return a wedding?
So I tell couples 6 to 8 weeks. Depending on the time of the year, it can be anywhere from like 3 to 5-ish, but like they're usually uploaded a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as you. I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
But you keep them on the cards until it's delivered? I go through, like, I would need like 1 million cards.
I mean, I have like 128s that I use like for each wedding. So I've got 2 cards per wedding afterwards. And I definitely do have a decent amount.
I shoot on 128s,
Yeah.
and that freaks me out. I won't shoot on bigger than 64.
Really?
What if something happens to it? It's so much more.
Yeah, but you've got 2 cards.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I always shoot on 2.
Yeah.
Essentially, my backup process is I take it off the card and I put it on the solid state drive that's in the computer. Then it goes on 2 different hard drives, one off-site, one on.
Yep.
So now it's in 3 places. Then I put it in Lightroom, the folder.
Yep.
I make sure all, 2,623 are there. I go, yep, 2,623 are there.
Yeah.
I do a scan through and I'm like, groom's prep, bride's prep, ceremony, it's all there.
All the big chunks are there. Nothing's missing.
Then I'll take like 10 photos, one from each section, and I'll just make sure I can edit them all. There's no problems. And then I'm like, okay, we're good. And then I format the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just like having the cards as like the final. And honestly, sometimes I've had like, say we get like a tornado warning or something. It's like it looks like it's like a tackle box kind of thing where I keep all my cards in with like each that has like the little names of every couple with their cards. And if there's like something like a tornado warning, like I'll grab that box and like bring it with me. So I'm like, if something ever happened and my like house was destroyed. No.
I have like a hard drive safe.
Do you?
Yeah. So like the hard drives are in like a fire waterproof safe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just for like fear.
See, right? That's what I'm saying. Like natural disasters. I don't know.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is. You're like, I want to make sure you're getting your photos no matter what.
Yeah, and hard drives are terrifying too. That's why I just use so many.
Yep.
I've only had one hard drive crap out, but
only one? Oh, you're lucky.
You had more than one?
Yeah.
But my backup process is, not to toot my own horn, is very organized.
Yeah.
And
should be, yeah.
I didn't even have to get the hard drive fixed. Because I just went and got a new one and then dragged
you already had everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've never had it be an issue with a hard drive going, but it's a lot. I mean, also I've got hard drives that are like 12 years old. So when you
they're starting to get old. So what do we do when we get that old?
The nice thing is though, like now too, having because do you use PicTime for your galleries?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just pay for like unlimited and I just leave my galleries on there all the time.
That's the other thing too, is like, okay, so once they're finished, they're on even more than 3.
Yeah.
Because they're so small now.
Of course, yeah. Once they're JPEGs, you're no big deal.
But yeah, PicTime is like a nice, they're there.
Exactly. An extra bonus backup of whatever, yeah. They're just always, I never delete any wedding from there. People are always like, how long do you keep them? I'm like, well, contractually, there is this long that I'm supposed to have them, but in truth, I never delete them. I've had so many couples come back to me 7, 8, 9 years later, especially when I used to like deliver things on like USBs or
CDs.
Oh my God, CDs.
I still have my CD burner from when like the first few years of my career.
Yeah.
I use that in a while.
I remember I had an email from a couple like last year or the year before, and they were like, oh yeah, we haven't even like plugged in our USB since we got these, and we did the other day, and like it's not working and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay, well I've still got it. It's fine. Here's the link. Like you're all set. So yeah, which is nice.
I've had that a few times too, but contractually,
right? I'm like, you never know, because like it could, like for some reason who knows, but it's so I'm like they always, and whenever they email, they're always like, oh my gosh, I know you're not supposed to have them anymore, and
they always are nice about it, like
100%. Like they know it wasn't like something I did. It was,
and I'm always like, here they are.
Yeah, it feels nice to be able to like feel like the hero in that scenario where you're like, yes, I have them. Fear not. Your memories are safe.
I have all the originals too, but those I'm more leery about because like the JPEGs, like I said, are always backed up more places.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But they're always I can get them to you. That's fine.
Probably. Yeah.
But it does say that once they're delivered, and I always like in my like goodbye note, I'm always like, please back these up for your records and
in multiple places. I always say in multiple places, and try to make sure one of them is like a cloud system of some sort. Like, you tell people, but like I'm guilty of it. Like I remember it was like last year, cause Carrie Olette and I like will do shoots for each other sometimes, and like she did a shoot for me a few years ago, and I was like, so Carrie, I just realized that I like never actually downloaded the high res of this session you did for me 2 years ago. Do you still have it on PicTime? So like I've done that, so I can't really say much to other people.
Yeah, no. Michael's an animal. He hosts our because he did our wedding, DeLuca, and he hosted for 10 years.
Like contractually?
Yeah.
Damn, Mike, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's way too long. He's got it on the thing for 10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to probably pay for that.
He
for
must.
10 years.
I feel like I've had this conversation with him before. It's some kind of like unlimited thing, I think, that he's got going on. It's got to be.
Manifesto didn't have, I don't think they have anything in their contract with us, but like it's been 2.5 years and their Pixie Set gallery, it's still there. Ours is still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I turn it off for clients after like a year so they can't like access it anymore. And then it's an option to them to pay for it to be like to have access to it for the years afterwards. Yeah.
I have the thing set on Pick Time where they get the anniversary reminder discount.
Yep.
So they get 20% off.
Yep.
So definitely leave it on there till that gets sent out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I find my sales from that only really pay for it.
I get more than that. I would say I probably make like a few grand a year from without doing any other than like a few, like I do one like sale before Christmas with Pick Time every year and that's it. And it's pretty decent.
Yeah, they do. They let you do that Christmas sale. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's like the Black Friday, whatever. I always do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do them all.
Yeah.
Nothing for me. Make a couple bucks. Like,
yeah, it's already preset for you, so why not?
Because what is it? It's $35 a month, right? Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. That's what it is, $35 a month.
That sounds right.
As long as I sell enough to pay for it, it's cool with me.
It definitely more than pays for itself. Yeah. Like tenfold for me, yeah, for sure.
I also have to pay for the Google Drive storage too to deliver like videos.
Yeah, that's its own.
Can't really deliver those any other way.
Really?
They're too big.
Yeah.
Like they are too big. Yeah. Like a full reception video is probably like at least 8 gigs. So that's the only way to deliver it. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously on USB, but like,
Yeah, but that's it's physical. It's different. Yeah.
I have to give it to them somehow. Yeah. Like, I guess there's other ways I could deliver, but Google Drive is easy and it's pretty smooth.
Yeah. Google's got their shit together. They, Yeah.
Yeah. It's not nice and pretty like PicTime, which is why I use that for photos.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's different for a video because the video itself is like the final thing, whereas like photos, seeing it in the gallery is like, it's a different thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I usually just take like a nice screen grab from the video and use it as like the cover. And all
of course.
Stuff, so just to make it look prettier.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty much all the questions I had.
Oh, all right.
Did you have other things you wanted to say?
No, I didn't even. I feel like I talked a lot, so it's great.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what your Instagram is so they can find you.
Sure. Yeah. My Instagram is just Nicole Vallance Photography, and Vallance is VALLANCE. So yeah, Nicole Vallance Photography. That's where pretty much all my stuff is. So
thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Yeah, that was fun. Thanks.
That was awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
It's always nice to have like another photographer to chat with.
For sure, right?